everyone, Marta Locklear here with Refine Co. I have a beautiful shoot done by Tec Petaja that I'm going to edit for you today. I pulled about 60 images from this gorgeous Paris editorial that he just recently shot, and we have quite a variety of images, some of Tec's signature emotive movement shots, creative compositions. We have dark interiors, we have exterior, full sun, a little bit of shadow play, just a little bit of everything. So I want to go through and edit these. I'm going to use Tec's collection with Refine Co. And let's get started. All right, here's the first image that I'm going to go with. I mean, just the image itself is gorgeous. I'm actually going to play with, I'll click through all of them real quick for you guys so you can see the different tones. And this is just the one click on them. And they're all beautiful. And I think for this one, I'm going to lean on Portra 5. It has a little bit of a magenta undertone in the shadows, where one is a little cooler, and I felt like this shoot just needed that little extra bit of magenta and warmth. I also think this one looks great if you're going for a little more of a vintage film look, number 2. And then, of course, I really like 3. It's got the nice clipped black point, which gives it a little bit more of an aged look. And that one's pretty too. So I'm a little torn between 3 and 5 for this shoot, but I think I'll stick with 5 just for a little more vibrancy. So there's one click of 5. I really don't even need to do a lot to this. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull back just a smidge on the warmth. Tec generally likes his work quite warm. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to edit kind of in between Tec and more of a neutral edit. So there's the first image. Let's go ahead and click on the preset. You can see right away the preset does a lot of work to the images. Tec likes to shoot a little bit on the underexposed side, mainly to maintain highlights, and he works a lot, as you can see down here, with light and shadow. And in order to do that, he has to pull back quite a bit on his exposure. So you'll notice that these do lean a little on the darker side straight off, but it actually works really well with his collection. And for this one, I'm just going to add in a smidge of magenta. I love that he does interior shots as well. I really think it really helps with the gallery to give the feel of the day. I'm just going to lift this up a little. I'm going to pull back these highlights just a smidge. And I want to keep it kind of moody because that's how Tec likes things. This one, I'm going to go with black and white. Let's go ahead and do it the first one. It's already nice and dark. Lift these shadows up just a smidge, and I'm actually going to pop the highlights just a little bit there. You can see it already has a beautiful grain built in. 5. Gonna lift. And this one, due to the purple, gorgeous colors, by the way, this venue is stunning. I'm actually going to pull back a little on the magenta. And right in there. And again, I want to play with the dark and light, the shadows, so I'm not going to push these overexposed at all. You can, of course, lift. You can do all this, and then you can push the slider to really get another pop and get a whole nother look out of it. But I think I'm going to stick with a true to Tec style edit. Love this image so much. Same thing, click the preset, lift the exposure to the point that the highlights are not blowing out, or the brightest point that you want your whites, and then work from the inside out from there. So for this, I got these nice, looks like limestone walls lifted, and now I'm just going to lift the shadows to lift this middle area just a little bit so he's not lost in the shadows there. That looks gorgeous. Same thing, I'm going to push this up to right about here, and then I'm going to actually push the slider. You can pull back on it, but you can also push it, and you can see as you push it, it gets even more of that kind of filmy edge, and then you can tweak from there. Same thing. So this one, I don't want to lift too much because I don't want to blow out all the stuff in the full sun. So instead I'm going to lift a little from the shadows, but I don't want to lift a lot because I really want this dark void back here. But I want to make sure that I brought these, you can see they're lost in here. I just want to bring them out just a little bit. And then I am going to pop the highlights just a little for some play there. Maybe a smidge of magenta. Run the preset, lift, and look how beautiful that is. And then I'm going to go ahead and push it just to give it a little more of that kind of filmy roundness. There we go. Preset, lift, look at the green chair come to life there. I'm going to add a smidge of magenta. I'm going to pull back the warmth just a little bit. And if you feel like you need to lift this area here, you can try lifting the shadows just like that. Or the other thing I recommend is running a mask and just do linear, start from the bottom, because that's what really, we're well lit everywhere else. We're just right in this area, and then we can lift that exposure there as well. It's as simple as that. This one's gonna need a little white balance help. I can see her skin, not too much though. With Preset did a lot of work for us. I think a little tiny bit of magenta. It's beautiful. Same thing. I'm going to push this. There we go. Oh, I already ran the preset on this one. Lift. And for this one, it's very high contrast, so I'm actually going to pull back on the contrast a bit here. You see how that immediately softened up the shadows around his face. So if you've got an image that's very contrasted and you run the preset, which texts have a little more contrast in it than some of our other collections, just pulling back on the shadows, the contrast can help a ton. And here I just pulled back on the magenta a little because it leaned a little pink. Again, we've got a lot of light reflecting these purple and pink tones. So I was just adjusting those there. Quick run of the preset. I'm going to do black and white on this one. Get those highlights to pop a little bit. There you go. Warm this up just a smidge. And again, same thing as the other. So you notice how this is much more magenta than say like this image where we didn't have to do any magenta work. But in here, due to the coloring of the room, we've got, you can even see the color cast hitting this radiator here. So again, high contrast. So I'm just going to pull back just a smidge on that contrast and pull back on the magenta just a little bit, just so his skin isn't turning pink and purple. And I think even a tiny bit of warmth would look good on there. The colors in this shoe are just stunning. It's so timeless, but so fun and modern at the same time. And I'm going to push this. See how that you watch the glow just kind of open up when you push the slider. There we go. Do this one in black and white. There you go. That's one click. Really doesn't even need a whole lot on this. I'm going to lift the shadows, just lift up the tapestry a little bit. Zoom in, skin tones look good. And we've got three different skin tones here. Very fair with a pink undertone, very neutral, and then a light to medium skin tone here. And all three look impeccable. And if we wanted to push this, let me click on this again. There we go. You can see just by pushing it, it gives that lift. And then we just have to lift those shadows again right in there. There you go. I'm gonna pull that back a little. I mean, the colors on this shoot are just gorgeous. His suit got super dark. It was very, very dark to start. So that's where just lifting those shadows can bring out just enough of the suit detail that it doesn't become a black hole, but you're not lightening the entire image up too much either. Portrait 5. Again, don't even need to do a ton to this one. Maybe lift a little there. I'm going to add in a little warmth here. You can see how well they handle in a lot of different lighting situations, a lot of different palettes. And Tec is shooting with the Sony A1 system, if that helps as well. I think I'm gonna actually, yeah, push that a little. I'm pulling back on the contrast a little on the full sun ones. There we go. Lift. Again, lifting the shadows a little for his suit. You can spot lift, so if you like your tones everywhere else for the shadows, again, you can go to your masking and just do like a little radial for his suit area. If you feel like you just need to lift that area, and you can lift it there, and that way you're not lifting the shadows everywhere else. So that's another good tip for when you have a localized area that you need to adjust. It's beautiful and easy there. And she's leaning a little magenta here, so I'm going to, you can see kind of the pink tones in here. I'm just going to pull back on the magenta slider just a smidge. Give it a little warmth because, like I said, Tec likes his a little on the warm side. And there you go. Dial it back here and then lift from the shadows. There you go. Again, leaning a little pink on this one. I think the lighting here is just giving that to the camera. And just by pulling back on that magenta slider, the tint slider, just a touch, takes that pink out and makes that beautiful. And like I said, if you want to push it and kind of get that pushed film look, that's how you do it, just by moving the slider there. Oh, wrong one, my bad. Same thing, warm it up, pull back on magenta just a little bit. There you go. So lifting. Pull back on the white balance just a little, felt a little warm. This one needs a little magenta where the other ones needed it pulled out. And same thing in the black and white. You can push the slider to push it. And it gives your preset a whole nother level of editing. Lift. So we get that limestone the way we want it. I feel like this needs to be cooled down just a smidge. Tiny bit of green tint. And then I'm going to lift from the shadows to fix the black hole areas. There we go. I love these types of images. Whenever I see his catalogs, I just love some of the emotive images he gets. Very well done. Again, this one is nice and warm. The warmth is good. I feel like it's leaning maybe a little on the green side. Again, probably dealing with some color cast here. So this time we're going to add just a smidge of magenta. Let me see how much I put in. So like not even about 5 points. There you go. And see, this one's not quite as green. It's funny how the camera reads them. Same venue, same spot, just different angle, and it's reading it a little differently. Then from the shadows, kind of lighten these trees up just a little bit. And again, you could do a masking linear gradient there. Oh, weird. I don't know why this one's here. All right, Portra 5, pull back just a little, add in a little magenta to balance out all this green that we have here. There you go. Same thing, dial back so the highlights aren't blown out. We'll use the rest of the sliders to fix those as needed, add in a little magenta. Beautiful. And then just going to push this to give it a little more pop. Love this, playing croquet and along in Paris. Just kind of sounds amazing. I'm going to pull back on the contrast just a little because I feel like they're falling into all these shadows. Pull back those highlights a little. There we go. You see a lot of magenta in this one. So again, just gonna knock the edge off the magenta just by pulling down on the tint slider just a little bit. There we go. How cute is this dress? Love it. Okay, here's one that's nice and cool. So we're on the opposite side of things. Run the preset, warm it up a little, add in, whenever you have all this green, again, just adding just a smidge of magenta and brings life into the skin, helps balance out those color casts. And that looks gorgeous. And like I said, you can push this as well. There you go. And this one I think I am going to use a masking tool because I don't want to lose any more of the light in the top half of the image, but I feel like it's very dark down here, so I'm going to pull up the masking. I'm going to do a linear. And I'm just getting the fade to overlap the light portion. And then I can bring this part to life. Let me see if I can. That's not what I wanted. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see if I can. There we go. Let's do black and white for this one. There we go. Love this. Full sun or backlit, heavy haze. And you can see all the magenta in there. So I'm just going to tweak the white balance till I get the tones where I want them. There we go. See, just by pushing it, it cuts through a little bit of that haze, but we don't lose all the haze. Same thing, lift from the shadows, warm it up, add a little magenta. Looks gorgeous. And last image. So Tec's collection is based off of Kodak Portra, if that's not obvious, and based off of years of his film scans. And then we just recently did an update, and everybody's been super happy with the update. So if you like what you see here, I'll add a link below where you can download the presets for yourself and give them a try if you love this Kodak Portra. It's kind of a rich, bold preset. And yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for following Refine Co.